everyone. Real quick little video here. I'm going to be using my BSA R10 for field target, and I really like the first focal plane scopes. I have this Athlon scope here I'm going to utilize, but a most important feature that in terms of ranging, being able to range, if you've ever shot field target, is you really kind of need a side focus wheel to get the finite measurements for ranging your target. Now, you can kind of see I've got a piece of white tape around there temporarily, and it's just too small. So I'm going to go with one of these. What I used was the this particular model right here. I used the UTG SW100 wheel. It's 100 millimeters in diameter, so the larger the better to a certain extent. But this is the wheel I'm going to modify. You can buy an aftermarket scope ring for this, and it runs about 120 bucks. Bolts right on. It's great. It's a good looking piece. However, I don't have 120 bucks. So I'm going to take, I believe this is like $11, and I'm going to do some minor modifications to it, and I'll make this work. Okay, so first of all, we need to measure the outside of this knob so that we can get the size, and we can know how much we've got to remove, fit it up. So measuring just gently, and this is not rocket science. It looks like we're at about 1.267. Okay, so now I'm going to measure the ID of the wheel. Okay, it says we had a 1.267. So now let's measure this distance here. Okay, so this, having zeroed this prior to the measurement, you can see that just kind of going over the high points of the two, you can see the little ridges along the foam piece. What I've done is I measured across, and there's a difference between the outer part of the Athlon focus knob and the inside of this is 0.138 inches. What I plan on doing is I'm going to take a Dremel tool and gently grind off the inside of this foam piece. Now, if you decide to do this, remember you got two set screws here, and you're going to have to take them both out prior to removing this, or you're going to break it. You want to be careful. You won't be able to take this out very many times, not damage it. It's a pretty rigid piece of foam, and if you mess it up, well, may or may not work. So anyway, I'm going to take this out, and I'm not going to bore you with the demonstration of grinding on foam, but I'm going to take it and I'm going to just gently go around this with a sanding drum, actually on a Dremel tool at slow speed, and just start taking it off. I've only got to remove a little bit, and I think it'll be ready to go on there. Okay, so for, I don't know, it took me maybe 5 minutes. Should have shown this to you before, but basically ground down the outside of the rubber ring, the insert. Use the Dremel tool, sanding drum, basic tool like that. Just gotta take your time. Don't go too fast. The other thing you want to be careful of is this little nub right here. There's two of them. That's what your set screws go in, so don't grind those down. Otherwise, you won't have enough material for the set screws to grab a hold of to hold it against that. So anyway, kind of grind it down. Looks a little bit rough, but we're going to fit it to the inside of the ring. Make sure the little nubs turn into that, and then we're going to just like that. And you can see it's a little bit loose, but that's going to allow for the expansion as it slides up on that hub. So we're going to do that. Rubber dust in your fingernails. But anyway, we're going to slip it up on there. Okay, so I ground down the outer portion of the rubber insert. Now, you'll notice I left the little nubs on there because those two places where the set screws go, you need that reinforcement. Now, the one thing that's going to be important too is make sure, because they're not right in the middle, make sure these are turned out so they fit up in there nicely. Because whenever you put yours, you've done it right, it's going to fit up on there really, really snug. So make sure that you've got that lined up So, okay, now, so I'm going to work the ring up onto the turret. Almost there. And there we have it. So now I can turn this accordingly. Once I put the set screws back in there, it'll center itself up. So now you can see I've got that put on there where I want. What I'll do up here is I will take and I'll put tape over this and then mark this accordingly. I'll make a little wire piece that comes out, a little pointer, and I will have a turret, a larger turret, side wheel turret for the scope to be used in field target. It's that easy. This can be used on virtually any scope that you have. I just happen to have it on the Athlon. You can put it on, again, almost any scope. The Hawk scopes may be the biggest challenge because of the way that they have their illuminated adjuster over here as opposed to back up here on this particular scope. But here and its adjustment, you almost cannot do that. So you will probably have to utilize the Hawk side wheel, and it's affordable. If you can afford a Hawk scope of quality like a Sidewinder, you can afford one of those wheels most certainly. But anyway, just want to show you how you do that. Again, we'll put the set screws back in through here and up through here and tighten that up, and we'll be good to go. Hope this helped, guys. See you at the next video.